Hi, I'm LDS in Medium, and thank you so much for tuning in today. I want to try to bring religion and spirituality closer together, and this is what this pod is all about. I will talk about my own thoughts and feelings as I am both LDS and have spiritual gifts, something that I've had my whole life, but I always thought that it was hard to combine these gifts with my religion. This has torn me into two directions, and I have talked to many people who feel the same way. I can't choose not to have my spiritual gifts, but I can choose how I use them. And I always want to use them for good and to help others. I believe my heavenly parents gave them to me for a reason. So, this is me. Join my quest for knowledge. So this is going to be a little just one-on-one talk to what we've thought about, what we've experienced, and what we've done so far this week. We got a whole week together, like 7 days, from Sunday to Sunday, which has been really amazing because there's very little time we get to actually spend together, even though we live in the same town. Well, basically we live in the same town. We live like half an hour away from each other, but on opposite side of Stockholm where we live. So even though we talk a lot on the phone, we don't get a chance to see each other so often. And since my situation is as it is, and my sister's situation is the way it is, it's hard for us to come together and meet each other and just be with each other. So this was a really nice treat for us to actually get to spend 7 full days together. And for me, it's been really wonderful. It's been calming, soothing, having someone beside me, talking to me, listening to me, encouraging me, that I know is 100% on my side and that I can support fully. It's just been, I don't know, I'm just really grateful and happy right now. How do you feel?
It's been a great week. I tried not to have a lot of expectations. I had things that I'd wanted us to record and plans for that. But other than that, I didn't plan to have a lot of things going. I was just trying to get it to come as it goes. And I wasn't really sure what to expect. And so when you don't have a lot of expectations, you'll never be disappointed. But you can be positively surprised, and so I'm trying not to have a lot of expectations. But something that I felt that we really had to do was record the rest of the Tony Robbins episodes, because they take a long time to record, since it's like 5 days worth of episodes. And they take hours to record those episodes, so now we're actually finished with them, and I'm looking forward to having I actually have now a lot of episodes that I can edit, and also just making plans for what episodes we need to do for the rest of the year. And we're starting to look towards next year also, and I think that's cool. It's like a blank slate, and we're trying to feel in where we're going with this pod next year. It's also been amazing, like just being with my sister. It's been a long time since we spent so much time together. And just the two of us, really. It's been really good to just have a sister with me all the time. We're a lot alike in a lot of ways, and it's always a calm and positive emotion and feeling when we're together.
Well, I did have expectations, and yes, I was disappointed. I did not plan for my son to be in a moped accident and hurt himself so bad, so we lost like one whole evening, and it's been affecting every day since, but I'm glad he's okay. So it's been a wonderful week just to talk and relax. We could watch some movies and just hang out. What I wanted to do more maybe was do more songs. We focused so much on the pod that we barely got to do any songs. It's not the end of the world, we can do that later, but I really looked forward to music. We got some ideas though, and we'll keep working on it. We've eaten a lot of salad, and we've taken a lot of walks, since I do my best thinking in the woods. Every time I call my sister, I'm out walking in the woods. And so I'm taking her around, showing her all the spots that I love walking in, and showing her we have some beautiful waterfront lines that we can walk and watch the water and the woods and all the trails that I go with when I babysit the dog. And it's just been amazing. Last night we got to do some intuition training with ribbons and card with images on, and dices with different images on, and it was just fun sitting there with my sister and my best friend that I've done a lot of my spiritual path with, to sit and talk and just be friends and just connect to each other on such a deep level. And it was so hard when we did the cards, because my sister, she hasn't done a lot of this, and we have. And we know each other so deeply because we've been training on each other for years. And so now my sister got in and we made a little tree out of it, and it was really hard to separate the energies because we're so similar, we're so alike, it's ridiculous. We were laughing all the time because everything we said could fit to the other two that was in the room, so it was really interesting. And I know you have some thoughts about what you experienced yesterday, because I think you thought part of it was hard. Tell me about your experience. What made it easier?
Yeah, so first we had like ribbons, and you tie together in a knot in the middle, so you don't know who's on the other side of the ribbon. But since there were only 3 of us and I had 2 ribbons, so I knew that they had me and then I had one of them, but I didn't know which one it was. And it was really, really hard because my brain wants to work. I'm like questioning myself, and like first I'm trying to force it. I need to think of something, and as my brain is working, it disconnects the intuition. You need to answer fast, and I like to think and I like to take it slow, so it was very, very hard for me. So they both had their turn, but still I had a really hard time like getting connected into the energies. But then when we did the card, I was surprised because it came so much easier for me. So I understand that I'm a visual person, and with the images, thoughts just came flowing into me. It was so much easier for me, and it was really funny. And actually, after I was reading the cards, because they each picked 3 each, and then I had to decide which one went in which pile, who had which card. I feel like it's definitely something I would like to practice more and want to get better at. But it was a lot of fun. And then we just pulled some tarot cards for fun, and it was just really fun, the messages that came through and how it really suited with each and every one of us.
Yeah, you picked it up pretty fast there once you let go of control and shushed your brain and just started going with the intuition and the flow and the first impulse that came. So it was just fun to see you light up and just, I can do this. It was just, I like that. It's something I've been training, and I know how hard it was the first times for me to do it, how self-aware I was, and is it me? Do I feel this? Is it not me? And it's so hard to differentiate the energies that comes in and the impulses, the quick flashes of knowledge that you get. You have to be really tuned in order to catch them. So it's fun. We should definitely do that more when we have time. Work on our intuition and our ability to read the energies. Is there anything else that you come to think about that you really enjoyed this week?
Yeah, as I was coming here, I was actually reading a book, and my hope was that we could record a conversation about that book, and I want to do that with a lot of books that I have and that we could read just to see what we can pull out of it. But what it looks like so far, that maybe we won't have time because it's a 150-page book and we're getting close to the end of our week together. But something that came out of that book was the author was talking about how she had a very long prayer. And not just like a prayer for the morning or blessing the food, but she actually had a prayer that lasted for hours. She went somewhere secluded and she prayed for hours. And I thought about how Jesus Christ prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane for hours and hours. And then I thought about how we think that Joseph Smith went out into the Holy Grove and he prayed for hours, and that's when he got the first vision where he saw our Heavenly Father in Jesus Christ. And then I just started thinking, it's like, what would you say in a prayer that's hours and hours? Because a prayer is very much based on faith, and you don't hear somebody answer. And so any answers that you might get would be responses in your body. You might feel it in your heart beating faster. You might ask questions that you want reply, but it's not like a dialogue where you're talking to somebody out loud. So you need to find a place that's still and where you're not interrupted. And so I just ran it by my sister and I said, hey, what do you think about that we go out one day and we fast? And fasting for us in the church, we do it usually once a month, and then we fast from like Saturday evening or Saturday after dinner until lunch after church. And she thought about that, and then she came back to me and she's like, I know what we're gonna do. And so yesterday we started fasting, and this morning we went out really early, and we hadn't really talked about any questions that we wanted answered, or we hadn't talked about really what we were going to do. I just knew that we were going to go somewhere and we were going to bring a pen and paper, and we had blankets with us, and we brought water in case we needed it. And she just took me to an amazing place. Do you want to say what we did?
Well, me and my neighbor found this amazing place. It's in the little area after the one I live in. It's by a lake, and there's a really nice walk on the side of the lake. And you have cliffs you can sit on, and there's benches you can sit on, and there's a lot of scenery that you can sit and meditate and ponder. And it ends with a little wooden walkway right by the water. And so I took her there, and we walked, and we stopped, and we sat, and I had some meditation music on. And we just sit there maybe for 20-25 minutes on each spot, and we just write everything that came to us. And we would share, and then we would walk to the next place, and we would sit down and we would write down everything that came to us, and then we would keep walking. And it was amazing how much similar things that we picked up upon. How many of the thoughts that came to the both of us were on the similar topic when we compared the thoughts and notes that we put down in our pad. And it was just amazing. I'm so grateful that I had this opportunity. And would you like to share some of the thoughts that you had? I think we had like 8 or 9 locations that we stopped and just, I say have dialogue with my Heavenly Father, because that's what I do. I ask him questions, and I put down all the answers, and I just open up all my chakras, and I just write down everything that I feel, everything that comes to me, all the little inputs that I get. And so that's what we did. I think we did it for like 4 or 5 hours. But it was really good, and I felt so calm and so peaceful and so rested afterwards. And we're just going to share some quick notes with you as to what came to us. You can start.
Well, something that came to me is a lot of things came to me. But something that came to me, I'm just like going to pick a couple things out. But how you cannot just give. Or if you look at it as exhaling, if you take a deep breath in, and then you breathe out, and you breathe out some more, and you breathe out more, and you breathe out more. Now you're totally empty of air. I still haven't taken a breath in. And now I took a breath in. And so you can't just give, you can't just exhale all the time. You need to inhale and you need to exhale. You need to give, but you also need to receive. I thought a lot about, I think I wrote laughing a lot of times, because life is supposed to be fun. Life is supposed to be laughter. We have one life, and that's the life that we're here to live. And I asked, what is happiness? Happiness is being free to choose. And we did get our free will. And with it, we can choose what makes us happy or what doesn't make us happy. But it's a choice. And being active in your choices, not just being a victim, but actually doing your choices and taking responsibility for them. I thought about relationships and how important they are in our lives. This week, even though I have been able to rest, relax, I do feel I miss my family a lot. And I've really tried not to call them or to be bugging them so much. I know that my husband is like working a lot to keep everything together there at home. And I'm very grateful for that. But I really miss them, and I miss my children. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. We noticed also a lot. We looked at the clouds. We talked about the wind and the sun and the earth, and everything's growing and the waves hitting the beach. And they became symbols to us for our lives. And it's just really soothing to sit there, listening to the waves, listening to the wind. Just letting the pen run free over the paper and just write down all the thoughts that come. I also did something that Tony Robbins talked about, and it's to go why 7 levels deep. And I asked some questions. It's like, what am I supposed to do? And am I supposed to help somebody? Who am I supposed to help? And then why? And I asked that why 7 levels deep. And I think I got to a really good answer. And if you keep asking it pretty fast and you just reply what it comes to you, you're replying with your intuition. And that's what I did. So we're looking forward to creating something for you for that. What I really felt also is to live now, love each breath, love each day for eternity, live in peace and happiness, and we can try and make life here on earth like heaven for us. But for me, as my life is, it's very busy. There's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of sounds surrounding me always. And that's why this week has been so calming to me, because there's actually been moments of silence. And we need to have that silence to be able to hear the things that we're supposed to hear and to listen deep within. Yeah, and that's kind of what I learned. This is just like so little what we wrote down, but it's just a few thoughts, and it was really nice and soothing to just come to these conclusions, and I'm looking forward to incorporate everything in my life. What were some of the thoughts that you had?
I think I wrote like 12 pages back and forth, but I'm gonna see if I can translate some of the things since I wrote in Swedish, but for me it was a lot about perspective. And so I wrote, yet again, the perspective has changed. And instead of sitting high, we're sitting low in the protection of the trees and cliffs and rocks. How can I rest in the shadow of the trees? Laughter is echoing over the water. I am fine here, but the path here has been ridden of trash, cans, plastic, paper, and roots and stones. The road wasn't straight, and sometimes I had to choose which way to go. Trash. What do I have that is trash in my life? What is worth to fix? What's worth recycling? And what can I toss away? The roots and the rocks on the trail, what do they symbolize? Trials and obstacles on my journey through life. Different paths symbolizes different choices. Choices that I need to do. They might lead me to the same place. They're just differently hard to walk on. The thought was to sit on the rock high up, but it was in the shadow beneath the rock that I found peace and recovery. Sometimes the place that I want to go to isn't the place the Lord wants me to go to. Am I willing to listen? Can I change my ways? Think if I'd missed this spot and all the thoughts that came to me. Even if I just rest here for a little while, it gives me joy and peace. It was just some thoughts that came to me when I was sitting there. And these were some thoughts that I'm going to take and close with. Hunger is starting to occupy my thoughts. My brain wants nourishment, just like I've given energy to my soul. Now my body wants food, but my body gets food every day. How often do I consciously give my energy and my soul food? I need to be better at that. Consciousness is the first step, but you have to do something. Just do it. Thought without action never becomes more than a thought that just drifts away. I have to take a physical first action. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. Live well. And so these were just some thoughts that came to me today. I got so much insights and I got so much knowledge that I'm going to have to sit down and ponder upon and just structure up in my head to know what I'm going to do. I'm just so grateful that my sister had this idea, and I felt resistant to it. First, I was like, we're going to waste a whole day fasting and going out praying. It's just not, it's not that I didn't want to pray. I didn't see how we could do it practically. But then when I thought about it, this place just came to me, and me and my neighbor, we had scouted this place because we wanted to do meditations, walking meditations there. We just wanted to walk there in peace and just go to other spots that we've been to today and just sit quietly, maybe say a joint meditation, then go to the next spot. So that was a plan that we had maybe 3 years ago. Didn't end up to anything, but it's still in the back of my head, and my sister's like, this is such a beautiful place to do this, you have to do this. But life got in between, and I've been in an emotional roller coaster, and so I haven't been fit, and I haven't had energy to start thinking further away than here and now. But maybe this is something we actually should do. But it was just fun. We were up on like a little hilltop, and we could see the area around us, and we got to do our first live on Instagram. That was so much fun. It's different when you talk into a microphone and you can edit everything that's not supposed to be there. It's another thing doing a live on Instagram and just talking from your heart. And I got a little prayer in my heart that I shared there. So if you haven't listened to it, then go there and listen. But anyway, I'm just grateful for all the people that I have in my life. I'm so grateful for the gospel that I know is true. I'm so grateful for Heavenly Father, and I know He walks beside me, and He's there if I need Him. And it's been an amazing journey so far, and it's going to be so much fun to see where life takes me and where I'll end up. Hopefully we'll meet someday. Until next time, be the light, share the light, spread the light, and shine. This is my journey. Thank you so much for keeping me company today. Please download, like, share, and subscribe, and help spread the light and spread the word to expand our community. Let's bring more love, peace, and unity to this world. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Always be grateful, kind, and loving. Be brave and remember to step out of your comfort zone and smile. If you support us on Patreon, you will get access to our meditations and extra materials so you can download them as MP3. Also, we now have a Facebook group, which you can access from our Facebook community. Please answer the questions as you apply to participate. It will be a safe haven where we can keep discussing religion and spirituality, our spiritual gifts, and self-development. Remember, one person can make a difference, but together we can change the world.